Good morning. My name is Laura Jacobs, and I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator for the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey. The Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey is a nonprofit organization that works toward the education and prevention of brain injury. I want to welcome you today to our web-based workshop titled Seniors Keeping Our Brains Safe, Active, and Connected During This Time. Today, we are going to be discussing first why it is so important to prevent falls and to protect our brains. Second, we're going to be talking about making our homes a safe place to prevent falls. Then third, the importance of staying safe while remaining physically active. And then finally, keeping connected socially, even when we have to social distance. Here you see the top two reasons for traumatic brain injury in seniors. The first is falls, and the second is car crashes. Car crashes used to be number one, but fell to number two because of safety items such as seat belts, airbags, wider usage of car and booster seats. But for them to fully protect you, you need to use them properly. So if your seat belt is cutting into your neck, it may not protect you in the case of a crash. You want to make sure that the seat belt is fitting you on your bones. So it would go from your shoulder bone to your hip bone and your hip bone to your other hip bone for it to be the most protective for you. And as mentioned before, we work toward the prevention of brain injury for seniors. And this being the number one reason, falls. So we want to talk about that today on how to prevent it. Our brains control everything that we do, so we must protect our brain at all costs. I work in senior centers throughout New Jersey, and not a week goes by where I don't hear someone say that they fell for no reason. But this is not true. There is always a reason someone falls. Recognizing it and what caused you to fall is the first step. I want to ask you a question. Do seniors fall just because of their age? If you answered no, then you are correct. Today, we're going to discuss some reasons why, but more important, we're going to discuss strategies on how to prevent a fall from ever happening to begin with. There are two types of brain injury. They are a traumatic brain injury, which is an insult to the brain caused by an external physical force, such as a fall, and an acquired brain injury, which is an injury to the brain that has occurred after birth, such as a stroke, near suffocation, infections in the brain, virus, etc. I'm also telling you this because if you have been diagnosed with a TBI, such from a fall, in New Jersey has a TBI fund. The TBI fund provides New Jersey residents of any age who have survived a traumatic brain injury the opportunity to access the brain injury related services and supports they need to live in the community. They are the payer of last resort. For more information on this, you can contact our helpline or you can go on to the State of New Jersey Department of Human Services TBI Fund. Important facts about falls from the CDC. Each year, millions of adults 65 and older fall. More than 1 out of 4 older people fall each year, but less than half of them tell their doctor. Falling once doubles your chances of falling again. People are afraid to talk to their doctor and or family about a fall because they do not want to lose their independence. But by not using your team, those are the people that you hire, such as your doctors and nurses, you are putting yourself in dangerous way of falling again. You may not have gotten seriously hurt when you fell, but the next time could be different. Talk to your team, talk to your family, educate yourself, and empower yourself to be safe and sound while keeping your independence. You have already empowered yourself by taking this workshop today and by becoming more educated. And after putting the changes into place that you will learn today on this webinar, you are lowering your chances of falling considerably. Our brains control everything that we do as listed here. I know a woman that was struck on the back of her head, and even though nothing hit her face or her eyes, she is now blind. because that is the part of the brain that controls seeing. As mentioned before, the brain controls everything that we do, so we must take care of our brains. There is no cure for brain injury. Prevention is our best hope. So let's talk about how we can prevent falls in the home. What percentage of falls occur at the home? 20%, 40%, or 60%? You said 60%, you are correct. Most falls occur in the home. And yet, where do we feel most comfortable? That's right, in the home. So we let our guard down and we don't pay attention as carefully as we should to stay safe. I'm now going to take you through a virtual tour of our home to review some of the ways to make each room safer and a fall-free zone. I would recommend, if you have a pen or paper nearby, keep it close by so that if you see something that you're not already doing or you're doing that could put you in danger's way, you can jot it down and take care of it later. Also, the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey has a Heads Up Seniors checklist that you can download from our website, or you can call us, and once I return to the office, I can mail you one out. So let's begin with one of the most dangerous rooms in the house for a fall, the bathroom. Whenever you enter the bathroom, it is most important for you to have your cell phone on you or a device such as Life Alert at all times so that you can contact someone just in case you do fall. I don't assume that everyone can afford these items because they are pricey for a plan for a cell phone or those other devices. So I want to let you know so that you can share this information with other people you may know that are not on this webinar today, that if you get your hands on an old cell phone, you could ask your grandchildren or possibly reach out to the senior center if they know where you could get one. But any old cell phone that someone's not using now, and as long as you can keep that charged, it will dial 911. Again, you can't make phone calls to your family and friends, but as long as you keep it charged and you keep it on you, if you fall, you can dial 911 and get through to them. But the most important thing to remember is you must always keep it charged. Also, once you're in the bathroom, if you're going to take a shower or a bath, you want to make sure that you place that cell phone or device in arm's reach should you fall. I've heard many stories where people fell and they had their phone on the sink and they couldn't reach it. So what I do now is when I go into the bathroom, if I'm taking a shower or bath, I close the lid of the toilet, I place a towel on top of it, and then I put my cell phone on top of that. This way, if I fall in the shower or the tub or I'm on the floor, I know that I can reach that cell phone at that time. So that's important. Grab bars for the walls. They're not only there to help you to get up should you fall, but they're also there to help you hold on to steady yourself, or if you feel off balance, to prevent a fall in the first place. Also, no loose rugs. Even if you have never slipped on that pretty matching rug set that you have, it only takes one time for you to go down and to seriously get hurt. You want to wear the proper shoes. No flip-flops, socks, slippers that have smooth bottoms. Always wear something that has traction and surrounds your complete foot so that you don't slip on it. Wipe up any water on the floor right away. If you have a challenge with bending over or dizziness, then you might want to have a product such as a Swifter, and you want to have it readily available. So maybe a hook on the wall right there. And then this way you can just put the sheet on the Swifter, lower that to the floor, clean up the spill, then pick it up and take the sheet off and throw it in the garbage. And you won't need to bend over and put yourself in danger's way to wipe up that spill. But again, it's always good to have it close by because then you would be more willing to use it. You don't have to go somewhere and get it. So it's right there in front of you. Now we're going to go off to the kitchen. And before I start talking about the kitchen, I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with me. Have you ever, in your whole life, ever used a chair to stand on to reach for something? Is it made for that purpose? Can it fall off and can it fall over and you get seriously hurt? Then why do people do this? Because many times the reason is it's convenient. Why should I walk all the way over there when the chair is right here and I can reach for my item and be done with it? But again, you might have done this up to 100 times, but it only takes that one time. And it could be the 101st time that you can seriously get hurt. Aside from being, lazy, I guess the word, not wanting to go and get it, sometimes it's too heavy for us. But now they make lightweight, slim, sturdy step stools with a back handrail so that you can be safe and sound while reaching for something. I keep mine next to the refrigerator and I can lift it with one finger. It's that lightweight. I've seen them for under $20. And if that's too much, hey, the next time you have a holiday or a birthday, when one of those rolls around, great gift for you from the family and better than that 25th sweater, right? Also, you want to wipe up spills immediately. The example's the same as from the bathroom that we spoke about before. You want to get those spills right up off the floor so that you don't chance going down. If you do fall in the kitchen, do not use anything that moves to support you to get up, such as a cabinet door, because that could swing while you're trying to lift yourself and you could get more seriously hurt. A lot of times people think they're secure holding on to something that moves or has wheels on it. Another example is at the supermarket. If we use a cane or walker, but then we get into the supermarket and we use the cart, that has wheels on it. And we can't guarantee that it will keep us upright and stop us from falling. And I have heard stories about this. One in particular, a woman that came up to me and said she was taking the cart of groceries out to her car and she hit one of those cement dividers and shiders from falling one time and it's drugs. I walk all and the cart went on top of her. So you can't put all your faith that that will hold you upright and stop a fall. In the kitchen, the best place is if you can crawl over or scooch over to the sink area and grab onto the edge of the sink and pull yourself up there. And then again, also, you do not want any loose mats again in the room. Now let's talk about the bedroom. How many of us get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom? We're usually half asleep, it's dark, and so many more things that can make us fall. You want to make sure that you wear the proper footwear that surrounds your feet and has traction. You want to make sure there's enough light to lead you into the bathroom, not assuming that we know the route. You can keep a flashlight by the bedstand, or your cell phone also has a flashlight in it. And if you don't know, ask your grandchildren, they'll show you how to use it. I made this mistake with grandchildren many years ago, and now I always use a light. What happened many years ago is I was going to the bathroom, which was close by. I knew the route. And for some reason, it was that one night that my dog decided to sleep in the pathway of my bed to the bathroom. And I tripped over the dog and I thought I broke a few of my toes, but thank goodness I didn't. But never again did I leave the bed without having one, my cell phone on me, and two, a flashlight, so that I can make sure definitely that there's nothing in the way and in my path toward any other room when I get out of the bed. When you do get out of the bed, have you ever felt lightheaded or off balance? Make sure to keep a cane or a walker next to the bed. Also, before you get out of the bed, if you do get lightheaded or dizzy, it's a good thing to do some exercises, balance exercises, before you try to get out of the bed. So two that I like to do, one is called an ankle roll, but many people tend to do this incorrectly. So I just want to explain as much as I can over the webinar is if you're laying in the bed and you lift your leg up off the mattress, you make circles with your toes. So you're not moving your leg, you're just moving your foot and you're taking your toes and making a circle to the right. I usually do that 10 times, and then I'll do it to the left 10 times. Then after I finish that, I pick up the other leg and I do the same thing. But make sure your leg is not moving. You're just making little circles with your toes so that is exercising your ankles. And that is a good balanced portion of your body to keep you upright and help you from falling. The other exercises that I do are for my wrists. So while I'm in the bed, I'm laying down, I will take my wrists and I will take my fingers and let them drop so toward the ground. And then I reach them up to the ceiling and I stretch them out as wide as I can. And then I let them drop again. And I do that about 10 times. Again, not moving my arms, only my fingers and my hands down so that you're exercising your wrists. And again, this is another great balance exercise because have you ever heard people go to grab onto something and then they go down anyway because their wrists are not strong enough? So these are great exercises that you can do that help get the blood circulating and help you from getting dizzy once you get out of the bed. Make sure that you have your phone or your electrical device with you at all times. The reason being for this is because many people tell me that they hold their phone all day, but when they got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, it was that minute that they went down and then they were stuck on the floor the whole evening. So whenever your feet come out of the bed and hit that floor, you want to make sure that you take your phone off the charger and carry it with you at all times. And then once you go back to the bed, you put it back on the charger. But make sure, even for that 1 minute that you're not going to be in your bed, that you have that phone or that device on you because we want to be preventive. We want to take charge and be proactive so that we don't fall. And then again, no loose rugs in the bedrooms. So now we're moving on. We're wrapping up our virtual home tour with our living room and any other rooms aside from that that we haven't discussed as of yet. Number one, you want to clean up the clutter off the floors and off your stairs. We tend to get blind from clutter that's around our house until we trip over it. So you want to make sure that all of that clutter is put away, especially on the stairs. Again, you see no drop rugs. And when I say no drop rugs, those are the rugs we purchase in a store and we just put them down ourselves. They're not wall-to-wall carpet. They're not connected. They're not nailed down. And some people tell me that they use the tape to keep it from moving, but I've also heard stories of people's toes getting caught underneath them and they go down. So I always say that don't have them. Be safe. And if you absolutely love that drop rug, and I know this generation loves these rugs, but if you absolutely love it, let's say your mother made it or you bought it on that special vacation and you just don't want to get rid of it, then here's the secret. Pick it up, put it on the wall. You'll never have to clean it again and you can show it off and you're safe. So that's a great idea in regards to that. Be aware of your surroundings when you're on the stairs, either in the living room, going up to the bedroom, or going into the basement. If you find that your hands are full and you do not have an empty hand to hold onto a banister, make 2 trips. The reason being is many people fall going into the basement when they're doing laundry because they have so much in their hands and then they get off balance and they have nothing to hold on to. So make 2 trips. Not only will you be making it safer for yourself, but it's better exercise because you're making those 2 trips. So it's a win-win all around. Also, how to get up just in case you do fall. Let's say you weren't listening to Laura, you don't have your cell phone on you or your device, and you go down in the middle of the room. How can you get up so you're not laying there all day? Well, the first thing you can do is if you can crawl, that's great. That's the preferred way to crawl over to where you can get up. But if you can't crawl like me, because I had torn my meniscus in my knee, so there are 2 other ways you can also move if you cannot crawl. The other is you can roll. You can roll over to the site. And before you do anything, you also want to make sure that you don't have, you want to feel around to make sure if anything hurts so that you don't put any more pressure on that area. And then the last way you can move over is the way I usually do is I scooch on my little behind over. So you can do this over to the stairs. That's the best area to go to. So you scooch on over to the stairs, lift yourself on the first step, lift yourself onto the second step, and then hopefully you're high enough to grab onto the railing to pull yourself up. But I know what some of you are thinking, Laura, I don't have steps in my house. So that's fine. So what you can do is either crawl, roll, or scooch over to the couch and pull your cushions off the couch to make steps. So you'll have the first cushion as your first step, then you can pull the second cushion for the second step, and then hopefully you're high enough to get to the bottom of the couch, which is lower with the cushions taken off it, to get yourself up to get over to a phone for help. But again, please always keep your cell phone on you so that you can reach out to someone should you fall. This is one of my favorite slides, so please pay close attention, because remember in the beginning when I told you that people tell me that they go down for no reason? Usually that reason will appear before you over the next few minutes. Be aware in your home. We've talked about this over the last few slides that we went through the house. Let me make sure that this comes up. I'm not getting it. Of course, my favorite slide, and it's not working. Okay, I'm going to have to say them because they're not coming up on this. So the first one is be aware of your surroundings and concentrate on what you're doing. And we've already talked a lot about this, remembering. So we talked about the house. The second one I want to talk to you about that's so very important is gait and balance. If we have challenges with gait and balance, sometimes what would a doctor recommend for us to use? That's right, a cane or a walker. Do people like to use these? No. Why? You can be honest, I already know the answer. It makes us look old. But now let's think about a person and what they look like should they be using a cane and they're not. Are they standing upright with their shoulders back, or are they a little hunched over? Sometimes even limping or pulling a foot. But I also want you to think even deeper than that, because a physical therapist taught me that canes and walkers are not only suggested to stop falls, but they're to help people to stand as straight as possible as they possibly can, so that all of your body is in the right position. So let's go back to that person who thinks that they're looking young because they're not using a cane or a walker, but they're hunched over, not walking properly, and putting themselves in danger of falling. How long till you think they start getting back pain, knee pain, hip pain, and even neck pain? Because they're looking down, they're hunched over, and you got to look up with your eyes, so your neck will start to hurt also. And I could go on and on with the whole body, different pains that you'll get, which could have been prevented if they used the cane or the walker. Think about 40 years ago. What did someone call you if you wore glasses? That's right, 4 eyes. So people were not wearing their glasses, they were taking them off, they were bumping into trees. Even the Brady Bunch made a show about this, Jan taking off her glasses and breaking the anniversary picture. Nowadays, that's no longer. Everyone has glasses, big glasses, little glasses, sunglasses, glasses with no glass. The stigma was literally broken, and we need to not worry about what other people think. We need to empower ourselves to be strong, healthy, and safe. And if that means using a cane or walker, then you want to use it. I had a woman in one of my classes who said, I am going to be safe. I have a cane to match every outfit in my class. If I wear a red, I have a red cane. If I wear purple, I have a purple one. Tiger print, I have that too. She made it part of her wardrobe. And believe me, I've already told my husband when I need it, I already chose the scooter I want, the one that looks like the motorcycle, but that has the covering because I do not like to get wet. Now let's talk about vision and hearing. Get your vision checked at least once a year, even if you do not wear glasses, because that creeps in and our brain tends to make us think we're seeing everything when we don't if we're having challenges with our vision. So we want to get that checked at least once a year. Hearing aids. Sometimes they're not used when they should be. Working in the senior centers throughout the state, I've come to learn that many times people do not wear their hearing aids because of the price. They're very expensive and they don't work properly. That is when we need to advocate for ourselves. If we spend a lot of money on hearing aids and they don't work, what do we need to do? We need to go back to the doctor and say, fix this. I just gave you a lot of money and these don't work. Okay, so I'm trying still to get this to work. I'm sorry if I'm breaking up a little. So now I want to talk about medication, because medication use many times is the unseen reason why a person falls. And if they don't talk to their doctor, it will happen again. When should a person know if a medicine will make them dizzy? If you said from the sheet attached to the medicine bag when you pick it up at the pharmacy, you're a little too late because you just paid for that medicine. The minute the doctor prescribes a new medication to you in their office or via technology, like we're doing now, the first question out of your mouth is, will this medicine make me dizzy? If the answer is yes, then you need to tell the doctor that you may want a different medicine, or it could be as simple as changing the time of day that you take it to right before you go to bed. Why? Because if it makes you dizzy, you will, and I repeat, you will eventually fall, which can lead to a brain injury, a broken hip, bedridden. You don't want this. So make sure that you talk to your doctor and you know exactly the medications that you're taking and what can happen by taking them. Now we're going to talk about bones and muscles becoming weaker. By sitting in front of the TV, we feel safe. We're in a comfy chair. But if we do it for long periods of time, it's actually the opposite. Because by doing this and not exercising, you're making yourself weak and have increased your chances of going down when you stand up. So we're going to talk about exercising. But before I do, I just want to say that if you still do not recognize what made you fall, if you have fallen in the past, you want to keep a journal, write down everything you're doing, what you're consuming, and the time. And you want to contact your doctor so you can decrease your chance of falling, because you too can prevent falls. And now I'm trying to change this. Yay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for dealing with this. Okay, exercise. At any age, you can strengthen your body to prevent falls. People who have participated in fitness at least once a week had significantly fewer hospitalizations. And for substantial health benefits, adults should do at least 150 minutes, that's 2 hours and 30 minutes a week, and it's only a half an hour a day of moderate intensity physical activity. It is good to do aerobics, yes, but you also want to do muscle strengthening and specific balance exercises. Those like the two I described before. The hand exercise is strengthening as you hold onto railings, or if you do fall, not to break anything when you put your hands out. As you can see here, you may have exercise equipment already in your home, and if you do, go dust it off. And I will give you a few resources on new ways on how to use them, or use things that you already have around the house, like vegetable cans, water bottles, a dish towel. These are the items that I have in my house. Resources that you can use. First, you want to go to the search engine that you have. These are Google, Yahoo, and others. So you would first go onto there to research resources. And these are three very good ones. The first is by the state of New Jersey, and it has healthy promotion programs from the Department of Human Services, Division of Aging. It tells us all of the different types of resources out there. And then we also have AARP, which it has a 10-minute workout through AARP with a video, so you can watch it visually, listen, and follow along. And then Go for Life. And this is one of my favorite that I use quite a bit. It has all these different things and how to keep you on track. So I want to go over right now and just show you an example of what you would see. Oh, so first of all, you can either take these links, copy and paste them into your computer, or if you can't do that, you can type them directly into your computer. Or if you can't do that, you can even just put in AARP. And then once you get to AARP's site, in their little box where it says search or help, you can put in exercises. And that's how I found many of these sites that I'm talking to you about today. So you don't have to worry about this whole long link if you can't copy and paste it. Just go to Department of Human Services, Division of Aging, and then put in exercises, and you'll find all of the great items that are listed here. So now let's say you go into Go for Life, and that's Go, the number 4, and Life, and you go on. This is one of the slides that you will see. And now on the right side, there's normally a picture. There's a large picture, which is not coming up here. It's a gentleman holding onto a chair with his right foot lifted off the ground. But on the left side, it will tell you balance exercises, improving your ability to control your body position. It gives you examples. The one of the pictures, stand on one foot, heel to toe, and Tai Chi. These are all examples of balance exercises. And why should you do them? Because one, what we've been discussing all along, it prevents falls. It'll help you to stand on your tiptoes without feeling dizzy or teetering. And you can walk on uneven sidewalks without falling. Because we always hear people, they step off the curb and they twist their ankle. But these are the exercises that will strengthen your ankle so that will not happen to you. And here's the picture. So I wasn't sure if I clicked again if it would go to the next, but this is the picture. And then one other slide you would see should you go onto this site, and that is, it shows you, what I really like is if you can see that computer on the right side, the right bottom side, that's how clear it is. It has the 4 different types of exercises that I was speaking about before, not just aerobics, but also flexibility, strengthening your muscles, and balance. And you can click on that picture and it'll bring you right there. It shows safe exercise that are tailored for adults 50 and over, because sometimes people tell me, I'm afraid of exercising because I've heard people start exercising and then they get hurt. But that's not the case here. I mean, you always do want to check with your doctor, especially if you have any pre-existing, but definitely check with your doctor. But these exercises are geared toward adults such as myself over 50. And then this is something I really do need, ways to stick with the exercises. So another example is if you have any of the streaming, if you get any of the streaming into your home, or if you have DVDs mailed to your home, these companies provide exercising DVDs or streaming of exercise routines. So I get very bored easy and I don't like sit-ups or push-ups or those types of exercises. So each week I will request a new DVD. So one week I might be sweating to the oldies, and then the next week I might be doing belly dancing or even tap dancing or line dancing. So it keeps it interesting, and I'm still exercising and staying healthy. You also want to, okay, so now we're coming to exercising your mind. During this uncertain time, we're all being pushed outside of our comfort zone. And aside from not seeing my family, having to learn on a moment's notice and use technology for work and to stay connected to the outside world was way outside my comfort zone. I became full of anxiety and frustrated, and each day I would make mistakes. But then I found that by making those mistakes, I was learning from them and I was getting better and I was learning and I was becoming more empowered and more connected. And it was great too, personally, because the first 2 weeks I was on the phone and texting with my family. But then when I began video chatting with my family and to see their faces, it was a whole new level that brought peace to myself and kind of lowered that anxiety and that frustration. To keep our minds healthy as we age, we need to keep learning. I know some of you are way more advanced than I am, and some may not know anything, but no matter where you are, you can still learn more, connecting you to family and friends. So don't be afraid, although I know you will be, and think about it. Anything we do for the first time, usually we're a little afraid. So that's normal. With education comes knowledge, and with knowledge comes power. And as I said before, it may seem scary at first, but once you do it and you accomplish it, it feels great. And what better time? Ask your kids. They can't be going off to a baseball team, right? So they're in the home. It's a great time to ask your kids, your grandkids, or even someone from your senior center, if that's available, to talk you through it over the phone. And I'm also going to give you some resources in a few minutes so that if you don't have any of those people to reach out to, you will by the end of this webinar. So first, I'm going to talk to you about what technology is, and then where you can go to learn how to use it. So right now you're probably either on a computer, such as a laptop, notebook, etc., or a cell phone watching this. Families are connecting through different ways, such as FaceTime, Zoom, Google House. You can also pick up your home telephone and call people. Make it a priority to call at least one person a day. Don't wait for them to call you. Call them. If you have trouble hearing and you own a cell phone, there are apps that can transform the sound into text so you can read it and what is being said. And then I wanted to find something specific for people, older that didn't grow up with a cell phone in their hands going to school. So at a meeting that I attended with social workers, I asked if anyone knew of technology made specific for seniors, and this one example was mentioned. Now, I myself had never used it, so I did a lot of research on it, and I found many good things about it, and even Forbes wrote that this is an ingenious technology to help aging adults stay connected and engaged. But like anything, before you purchase for yourself or your parents, you want to do your research and see if it's a good fit for you. And then the last thing I want to mention is to write a letter. How great would it be to go to your mailbox and find a 2 or more page letter from someone you love and miss? Maybe with a crossword puzzle or a picture enclosed. This is how people originally communicated from afar. If you don't have stamps, no worries there. Because for a very minimal fee, and I did this, you can order them online and they will be mailed, the stamps will be mailed right to your house. If you don't have a computer or you can't do this, then ask your children to call and have it mailed to your house so that you have it. But this is a great way to stay connected, and people love to receive mail, especially as we're social distancing and we're in our homes for such a long period of time. Here are some sites on where you can go specifically for all types of help, including videos and helplines to reach out to speak to a live person. And again, you can either copy and paste the link into a search engine such as Google or Yahoo, or you can type it in, or you can just put parent giving and then put technology. Instead of exercising, now you're putting in technology. This will take you directly to the page. Okay, so we have the first one in regards to parent giving. And this explains all about the different types of technology, texting, Skyping, Facebook, all of the different ways that your family may be using to stay connected during this time. Wouldn't it be cool, like if you could just text your grandchildren and really blow their minds? Also, Connect to Effect. This is an amazing site that has a lot of great information on it, especially during this time of the coronavirus. But there's one section for technology called Physical Distancing Doesn't Have to Mean Socially Disconnecting. So if you can go to that, that's Connect to Effect. It's CONNECT, the number 2, and then Effect, AFFECT. And you can find out all about technology. And then ARP, again, it's there, it's out there for us from the age of 50 on, right? And they have the site how to make a FaceTime call on your iPhone, iPad, iPod. Also talks about how to Skype face to face. And I've only mentioned a few here. They have a lot on this website to help you. And it also shows a video on steps. And it also has a helpline that you can reach out and speak to someone in person. The great thing about it is if you can get onto the internet or YouTube, and you can go on. They have so many videos out there you can watch. All you need to type in is learning new technology as a senior, and you'll get so many that come up. And the great thing is if one doesn't work for you, close it out, go to the next one, and keep going until you find one that helps you, that you can relate to. It's easy and it helps you. And then again, if you want to write a letter, you can order the stamps from USPS.com store and they'll mail that out to you. And again, I just want to remind you before I switch the slide, reach out, ask for help. Ask for help from your children or your grandchildren, from whoever will listen to you so that they can help you and help you empower yourself so that you can stay connected during this time. Fear and anxiety, is rampant now. And these are some things that you can do to support yourself. You want to take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to the news. And this is hard to do because every time you turn on the TV, there it is. So you want to turn the TV off or put on a DVD or streaming to watch something funny that gets your mind off it. Because hearing about the pandemic repeatedly, even if you don't realize it, can be very upsetting emotionally, psychologically, and you may not even realize it's happening, but it is. You want to take care of your body, take deep breaths, stretch, meditate, try to eat healthy, well balanced meals, and exercise regularly, like we just talked about, and get plenty of sleep. Make time to unwind. Try to do other activities that you enjoy, whether that be dancing or coloring or going outside for a walk. You want to make sure you make time for yourselves to unwind. And this is very important for everyone, including parents that are home schooling their children and working. For us that are home and we're not with our children, but we're working from home, we have to make sure we're making time to unwind. Connect with others. Talk with people you trust about your feelings, your concerns. Get it out there. Don't be afraid to share those feelings because they're probably feeling the same way. And then call your healthcare provider if stress gets in the way. Many of them are doing visits now through the computer. So by learning technology, you'll feel more comfortable with that. And then if you or someone you care about is also feeling overwhelmed, there are many helplines out there, distress helplines, talk with us helplines. But the one other thing that I want to talk to you about is if you're not comfortable with the computer or you don't own internet or you're an adult child listening for your parents who don't have internet access, then this is a phone number. It's called Community Connections. It's through ARP. They also have a website, ARP Community Connections, to see the wide array of information and resources that can help people of any age. But if you call this number, you can speak to them, and they have so many things available. They can also, for someone that might be feeling socially isolated, you can submit a request for a friendly call, like an ongoing friendly call. So someone will call that senior living alone. So if you're listening and you are the director of a senior center, and you know that you have some seniors that are living alone and may fall into this socially isolated, you may want to set up a friendly call with them so that somebody can call their house, check up on them. They can answer questions. So if they don't have access to the ARP technology, and they can ask the person on the phone when they call. So this is an amazing item out there, especially for people that do not, or seniors that do not have access to the internet. Remember to care for yourself each and every day. Staying healthy by making your home safe, like we discussed earlier, active with exercise, and staying connected through technology. So at this point, I want to ask, hopefully you see a chat box. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out and let me know. Or if later on you're going through your house and you're making the changes or you're starting the exercise program and you have questions then, you can email me. My email address is ljacobs, that's ljacobs at bianj.org. Or again, if you only have a phone and you want to call, you can leave a voice message on 732-745-0200. Leave a message with your name and your phone number, and I can get back to you on that. And please remember that if you or a loved one has sustained a brain injury, and this includes concussion, stroke, and you need information or support, you can call our helpline at 732-783-6172, or you can go onto our website at bianj.org. I want to just say that if you or someone you know does have a brain injury, we have our support groups are not live right now, but we are providing support groups virtually. And we are creating a lot of our events that normally you would go to virtually. And one, if you do know someone that has sustained a brain injury, we are in June, the end of June, we are now working on a virtual family fest. So keep coming to our website to check that out. And we also, if you're a professional in the field, we have a virtual gala coming up. So please call our helpline or go onto our website to find out more information on that. And I guess, so I see some questions. One, oh, yes. So will I be making the slides available to the attendees? This is always a question. I usually say it in the beginning. I'm sorry that I didn't. Yes. This afternoon, I would say about after 3 p.m., this webinar will become an archived webinar on our website at bianj.org. So you can go on to that bianj.org/webinar, and then you will see this webinar and many others also that you can click on and watch. And also, if you need a certificate, for a job interview or anything that you may need that for, there will be a survey emailed to you right after this. Please fill that survey out and be as honest as you can, because I use those surveys to make the webinars better and better as we go along.